Hi, I'm Mick Kelly with Arborist Insurance, and this week we are talking about risk management. A lot of times I'll talk to guys, streetcar owners, and all different industries, and ask them if they have a risk management plan. And they'll tell me that they do because they have insurance. However, we believe that there's more to it than that. There's 5 aspects to risk management. They are risk identification, risk analysis, risk control, financing, and administration. With risk identification, it is what it sounds like. It's going out and understanding your potential risks and asking yourself what can go wrong. Obviously, anytime you go to a job site, it's something you're naturally going to do. But within your business itself, are you inspecting your shop? Are you looking at your vehicles? Do you understand what your liability risk is? Ask yourself questions like, did you start a PHC division this year and do you have coverage for that? Did you start doing line clearing? Do you have coverage for that? Once you've identified all these risks, it's time to get into the risk analysis side of it and asking yourself the likelihood of the identified risk being an issue for you. When you're out on site, maybe take them in an order of top 3, and they're going to be what you talk about at your safety meeting. In your business, you're going to ask yourself, do you have a piece of equipment or a person that you just simply can't operate without, and are you insured adequately for that? When it comes to people, if you lose a certain guy and you can't make money, maybe ask yourself, do you take a key man policy out on them so that you have some income coming in while you're on the search for another guy? If you have a certain piece of equipment, a certain crane that you know that's going to take a long time to replace, ask yourself, do you have the proper coverage there, that if you lose jobs because you don't have it, do you have business interruption coverage on it? After that, it comes down to risk control and making a plan to control your risk. Obviously, out on site, you're going to do your job site analysis, pointing out particular risk hazards. Maybe it's going to be your top 3 that you've identified that you're going to talk about that day. Maybe that's how you're going to approach all your job sites. In your business, in general, are you doing daily or weekly meetings? Is that how you're doing your risk control? Are you doing extra training? Do you have security cameras in place? Do you have telematics? All these different things amount to the risk control part of it. For risk financing then, and this is the most insurancy part of what we're going to talk about today, when you're out on site, are you splitting your crews up, even though you know there may be a little bit of extra risk involved? Obviously, they might get the job done, but if your best guys aren't out there, maybe it's a little less safe, but maybe you're making a little bit more money. It's just something that you can do to weigh up. On the business side, are you self-insuring to a certain degree? Is there certain things that you don't have insured and you're comfortable with that? Or maybe you have high deductibles. It's a way of dealing with that. And then the last one is the risk administration. And I can't say this enough, but documentation. If you're out on site and there is an accident and it's bad enough that, let's say, OSHA are called in, even though you may have done the meetings and you've done everything right up until then, can you pull out those papers and give them to the OSHA inspector when he comes? And if you can't, may or may not be a problem for you. On the business side, working with your agent to make sure you have adequate coverage and making sure your agent understands what you do, understands the tree care world, so that in the event of a claim that you know you're properly covered. So we can go into a little bit more on this on the article, and if you're interested in it, or you can always reach out to me at mick@arboristinsurance.com. Thank you.